world is kinda big, and I'm easily distracted by shiny objects. Hi everyone, this is Donna from Donna Makes Art, and in this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about the direction of Donna Makes Art. In the previous video, I mentioned that I didn't have everything figured out, and I'm learning how to be okay with uncertainty. Although I still don't know where I'm headed with my art journey, I may have stumbled upon what personal story I want to share with you guys. I already see a lot of artists trying to share their knowledge on how to make a living through their art. A few podcasts that I would highly recommend would be The Art of Life and 3-Point Perspective by svslearn.com. Rather than compete with these people who actually know what they're talking about, I would rather document my journey towards finding my artistic voice. Seeing it this way makes making content more exciting and an enjoyable process that we can all share. Style is a term that you hear being thrown around a lot in the art community. But as you mature and solidify your fundamentals, you stop focusing on the technical aspects of your craft and start asking the deeper question of what message you're trying to convey through your art. I first heard the term artistic voice through Chris Oatley, actually. Man, those are the days. And my interests were renewed when I read Henry Todd's book called Louder Than Words. In it, he proposes a lot of ideas. The book is written as kind of a workbook where after every chapter, he would ask very insightful questions for you to reflect. There was one section that talks about the voice engine. This is built on 3 growing parts, and that is identity, vision, and mastery. When your identity is solid, you'll know who you are and what you stand for, and it will lend authenticity to your work. Your vision, on the other hand, will give you a solid destination to aim for. By knowing where you want to end up, where you want to take your audience, you can make decisions based off of what would be the best for your projects. Even at the bigger scale, which projects to choose. The third one, mastery, is the skill sets that you have. The medium in which you can get your message across. In our case, or at least in mine, I chose to have illustration as my medium, as my vehicle to convey the messages that I want to get across. The problem is, what's my message? This is probably going to sound very judgmental, but I used to look down on people who just drew pretty girls. And this is really humbling for me to admit. What changed my perspective on this was a friend who built a following on Instagram at AJ Twanya. You should definitely check her out. At first glance, if you're just looking at the surface, you'll just see pastel whimsical works. But when you talk to her, there's a lot of thought that goes into each piece. Yes, she chose pastel color palette as her brand. Yes, it did work to build a following because people liked it. But it's also because she wants to convey the emotion of peace and the sense of calm that I'm assuming she gets when she does her own works. AJ Twanya, definitely check her out. Links down below. Unfortunately, I just don't have the capacity to do that. As much as I enjoy painting portraits, and playing with my watercolors, I crave the challenge of learning new things. I've been involved in web design, storyboard, animation. I once painted a mural just to see if I could do it. And from all of this, I picked up different types of skill sets here and there, which can be good because that means you're never unemployable. But I don't know who I am. And if we go back to Henry Todd's theory of voice engine, I'm lacking identity and I lack vision. Thinking back and plotting my career path, there were a lot of twists and turns, and that was because I was chasing after the wrong thing. Money and fame were tangible visions that I could aim for. But both goals lacked heart. While logic and planning are my strong points, dealing with the matters of heart is terrifying for me. My works lacked conviction and commitment because of this. I wasn't personally invested. Everything was very transactional, even if it was a personal project. There's a quote from Every Good Endeavor that I wanted to share. And it's a definition of leisure. Leisure is not the mere absence of work, but an attitude of the mind or soul in which you are able to contemplate and enjoy things as they are in themselves, without regard to their value or their immediate utility. There must also be an ability to enjoy the most simple and ordinary aspect of life, even ones that are not strictly useful, but just delightful. When your mind just decompresses and you allow yourself to enjoy the thing that you're doing, that's when the most creative part of your brain is triggered. It's something that I'm working on. So we've talked about what an artistic voice is. And we've also touched on the importance of having a message to convey. Now, I want to share a few strategies that I'm doing currently in order to find my artistic voice. The first action step, and admittedly the most uncomfortable one, is joining communities. This is a whole topic on its own, and I plan to elaborate a bit more on the next videos. But in relation to finding my artistic voice through communities, it gives me a point of reference on my skill levels. Being somewhat of a homebody, even back in college, I didn't really join org activities that much. Granted, I have built a close relationship with a few art friends. But when you're in Instagram or Facebook groups, you see people of different levels. And you begin to have a point of comparison on what you still need to learn. And also how you stand out from the crowd. A common saying among YouTubers is different is better than better. I've seen a lot of artists doing loose florals and pretty girls, in watercolor in particular, just like me. But I have started to notice that the watercolor craze has been dying down and been replaced with a demand for more gouache demos. So I bought a gouache set. It's that simple. Start by copying what's already there, and then try to study how you can veer away from the norm. You can't have a point of comparison if you're always just looking at your own work. Next is building a portfolio. I have tried to build a portfolio multiple times, but it always ends up a mess. Just to clarify, when I say building a portfolio, this is for my personal use. You're not gonna put a cartoony image if you're gonna be submitting a portfolio for a gallery, right? Having an art account on Instagram really did help me with this. By putting our works side by side in a very gallery type format, it forced me to create series of works for my feed to look cohesive. Just to give credit where credit is due, this was actually an insight that a friend gave me. I was complaining how inconsistent and terrible my Instagram looked, and I showed her a few art feeds that I really admired. Sometimes, guys, other people give fresh perspective. Which leads me to my third and final point: finishing projects. Making an actual product, a body of work, will give you a taste of the type of lifestyle you'll need to maintain if this career took off. As much as I enjoyed painting portraits, I have to say, once you've figured out a system, it can get old pretty fast. Nevertheless, I'm really glad that I was able to do this. I'm probably what you call a kinetic learner, someone that understands things when she experiences it firsthand. If I didn't try this out, I would always end up wondering if being a portrait painter was what I really wanted to do. Not that I totally discount this. I love doing portrait studies. It's something to de-stress me because I'm not really exercising higher brain functions. It's great exercise if you're trying to learn a new medium. Just like what I'm doing with gouache. Oh, and about that, I have been filming a few footages for gouache paintings. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see that, or if you're opening to expanding the series for different mediums based on portrait paintings. I guess I just wanted to end with aligning with you guys on the general direction that maybe I want to take Donna Makes Art, which is the path of children's book illustrations. Honestly, I have been avoiding this path because it takes a lot of work to imagine situations and conceptualize new things. But I have a dream project that I want to someday tackle, and I'm not gonna get there if I don't take baby steps first. I don't want to give any definite ideas on the next project that I'm gonna be tackling after this Skillshare course watercolor portrait painting thing. But just letting you know, it's definitely not gonna be this type of art style. So like I said, I still don't know what I want. I still haven't figured out where I'm going. But slowly and surely, through doing these exercises, I am getting a clearer picture and eliminating potential paths. Approaching my art journey as a learning experience rather than a finish line that I'm trying to race towards fills me with more excitement and anticipation, appreciation for the process rather than frustration at not getting the end result quickly. So that's my rambles for the day. Thanks for being with me. Share it with your art buddies that need to hear this message. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!